If you're serious about growing more food from the same piece of land year after year, then this is for you. On Evergreen Garden, we don't just garden for fun, we garden for abundance, resilience, and long-term soil health. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and, drop a comment telling me what you're growing this season. Today, we're diving deep into how to make your garden more productive every single season, not by working harder, but by working smarter and building systems that compound over time. Productivity starts with building soil that improves every season, not depletes. If your soil gets better every year, your harvest will too. That's the foundation. Most gardeners focus on what to plant next. The real pros focus on what the soil needs next. Start with organic matter. Every season, your goal should be to add at least 2 to 5 centimeters of compost or well-rotted manure to your beds. If you're using wheelbarrow measurements, that's roughly 1 full wheelbarrow of compost for every 4 to 5 square meters of bed space. Spread it evenly and lightly, incorporate it into the top 10 to 15 centimeters of soil. If you're practicing no-dig, simply layer it on top and let soil life do the mixing. Use a simple compost ratio of 3 parts brown material to 1 part green material by volume. Browns include dry leaves, shredded cardboard, and straw. Greens include kitchen scraps, fresh grass clippings, and green weeds. Keep it moist like a wrung-out sponge. Turn it every 2 weeks if you want faster decomposition. In 8 to 12 weeks in warm weather, you'll have dark, crumbly compost that feeds soil microbes and improves structure. Over time, this builds soil that holds more water, drains better, and honestly, feeds plants steadily. That's how productivity becomes consistent rather than seasonal luck. Strategic crop rotation prevents decline and boosts long-term yield. If you plant tomatoes in the same bed year after year, yields will drop, pests settle in, diseases build up, nutrient imbalances develop. The solution is simple. Rotate by plant family. Divide your crops into 4 main groups. Heavy feeders like tomatoes, cabbage, and corn, legumes like beans and peas, root crops like carrots and onions, and light feeders or leafy greens like lettuce and spinach. Move each group to a different bed every season. For example, if bed 1 grows tomatoes this season, next season plant beans there. Beans fix nitrogen into the soil, replenishing what tomatoes depleted. The following season, plant root crops, which prefer looser soil and moderate fertility. Then follow with leafy greens. This 4-season cycle reduces disease pressure and balances soil nutrients naturally. You'll notice stronger plants and fewer pest outbreaks within 2 years of consistent rotation. Succession planting keeps beds productive instead of sitting empty. One of the biggest productivity mistakes is leaving beds empty after harvest. Every empty week is lost yield. As soon as one crop finishes, another should be ready to take its place. For example, after harvesting garlic in mid-season, you can plant bush beans or fast-growing spinach immediately. If you harvest lettuce, replant within 48 hours with radishes or another quick crop. Time your sowing so that new seedlings are already growing in trays while the current crop finishes. That way, there's no delay. If your climate allows year-round growing, alternate cool season and warm season crops. In warmer regions, plant tomatoes in the warm months, then switch to cabbage or kale during cooler periods. Even a simple practice like sowing lettuce every 2 weeks ensures continuous harvest instead of one large glut followed by nothing. Interplanting maximizes space and light without overcrowding. Serious gardeners don't waste vertical or horizontal space. Interplanting allows 2 crops to share the same bed at different growth speeds. Plant slow-growing crops like cabbage with quick crops like radishes between them. By the time cabbage spreads wide, radishes are already harvested. A practical spacing example: Plant cabbage at 45 centimeters apart and sow radishes in the 45 centimeter gaps. Radishes mature in about 30 days and are gone before the cabbage demands full space. You can also plant lettuce under taller crops like tomatoes. Tomatoes grow upward. Lettuce occupies lower light space. Just maintain airflow and proper spacing to avoid fungal issues. This layered approach increases yield per square meter without increasing land area. Smart fertilization replaces guesswork with precision. Productivity isn't about dumping fertilizer everywhere. It's about feeding plants according to their growth stage. During vegetative growth, plants need nitrogen. For fruiting, they need more phosphorus and potassium. A simple homemade liquid feed can be made by steeping 1 part compost in 5 parts water for 3 to 5 days, stirring daily. Strain and dilute again at a 1:3 ratio before applying around plant roots every 2 weeks. For heavy feeders like tomatoes, apply a balanced organic fertilizer at planting time, such as a 5-5-5 blend, following label rates. Once flowering begins, switch to something higher in potassium, like 4-6-8, to improve fruit development. If using manure, apply well-rotted manure at about 5 kilograms per square meter during bed preparation. Fresh manure can burn plants and should never be applied directly before planting. Testing your soil every 2 to 3 years gives clarity. Adjust pH if needed. Most vegetables thrive between 6.0 and 7.0 pH. Small adjustments make big differences in nutrient availability. Water management determines whether plants thrive or struggle. Inconsistent watering reduces yield more than most gardeners realize. Deep watering encourages deep roots. Shallow watering creates weak plants. Water deeply once or twice a week rather than lightly every day. Aim for about 2.5 centimeters of water per week, either from rainfall or irrigation. Use mulch to retain moisture. A 5 to 8 centimeter layer of straw, shredded leaves, or grass clippings reduces evaporation and suppresses weeds. Drip irrigation or soaker hoses improve efficiency. They deliver water directly to the root zone instead of wetting leaves, reducing fungal diseases. If you squeeze soil and it holds together but crumbles when poked, moisture levels are ideal. If it's dusty, it's too dry. If water pools and lingers, drainage needs improvement. Pest and disease management should focus on prevention, not reaction. A productive garden is a balanced ecosystem. Healthy soil grows resilient plants. Resilient plants resist pests. Encourage beneficial insects by planting flowers like marigolds and basil among vegetables. Avoid monocropping large areas with one crop. Diversity confuses pests and limits spread. Inspect plants weekly. Look under leaves for eggs or early signs of infestation. Remove affected leaves immediately. Hand-picking caterpillars in the early morning can prevent major damage later. Use neem oil diluted according to instructions if infestations rise. Apply in the evening to protect pollinators. Rotate crops annually to disrupt pest life cycles. Strong airflow is also critical. Prune lower tomato leaves and space plants properly. Fungal diseases thrive in crowded, humid conditions. Season extension techniques stretch productivity beyond limits. If you want more productivity per year, extend the season. Use shade nets during extreme heat to reduce stress and prevent bolting. In cooler months, use row covers or simple low tunnels made from hoops and plastic sheeting. Even a 3 to 5 degree temperature increase can allow crops to continue producing longer. Start seedlings indoors or in a protected nursery bed to get a head start. Transplant strong seedlings once conditions improve. This shortens the time beds remain unproductive. In mild climates, grow cold hardy crops like kale, spinach and carrots through cooler seasons. With protection, harvest continues when most gardens are bare. Tracking and planning turns experience into continuous improvement. Keep records. What was planted, when it was planted, yields harvested, pest issues encountered. Over 2 or 3 years, patterns emerge. If tomatoes performed better in bed 2 than bed 4, analyze sunlight hours and soil condition. If beans struggled during a certain month, adjust planting time next season. Measure yield roughly. If 1 square meter of tomatoes produces 8 kilograms this year, aim for 9 next year by improving feeding and pruning. Small percentage increases compound over time. Productivity isn't random, it's refined. Making your garden more productive every single season is about stacking these systems together. Build better soil every year. Rotate crops consistently. Keep beds filled. Feed precisely. Water deeply. Prevent problems instead of chasing them. Extend the season wherever possible. Track what works. If this guide helped you, subscribe to Evergreen Garden and share this with a fellow serious gardener who wants better harvests. Drop a comment below and tell me one strategy you're applying this season. Let's keep growing stronger, smarter, and more productive every single year.